Okay. That one's uploading. Yay!
Don't even remember what this person is. Is that their actual
P.R.O.S.A?
or is that something where you initialize their name?
No. That's what their name shows up as. P.R.O.S.A.
Okay.
P.R.O.S.A. What feelings would your OCs share feel about the canon characters? What would have been their role and fate if they were in the movie? Okay. First question. First question. Not complicated at all, because the canon characters are in RagNBone, and as usual, all the OCs have to, at one time or another, kind of interact with them.
This is true.
But we do need our OC list.
You want me to start with my guys?
Yes, we're going to start with the Eve punks.
Okay, the Eve punks in relation to...
I guess in terms of their relation, like if they've met them. Like if Twain's never really met 8, then there's no real relationship at all.
Yeah, okay, so I'll go over some of the interactions. First of all, I have to clarify there is one pairing with a canon character. Well, 2 pairings actually with canon characters. 3 pairings with canon. Kind of 3. We haven't really worked too much on a couple of them. But should I tell what these are?
We have 3. Okay. Anyway, just continue and bring them up when they come up.
I'm gonna start. I just want to clarify. Like the biggest one, the biggie, is Five and Dickens, which was not intended at all.
Oh, Jesus.
That just kind of happened because the 2 of them interacted and it just kind of worked the way they interacted with each other. But you've got to start with Twain and her interactions with the characters. Twain kind of sees one as, you know, again they have Hemingway in their group who's like just a, you know, an old
just
guy.
Much of
so
a
she kind of sees one as, you know, just one of the old guys. He's just there. He does this sort of thing because he's an old guy. Old people do this in Twain's mindset. Twain likes 2. She does, you know, she's like, you know, he's a nice person. 3 and 4 to Twain are like little kids. Not quite as little as Poe, obviously, but little. Let's see. She thinks 5's a sweetheart.
Brad's terrified of 1.
Oh yeah, Brad's terrified of 1. 6 is just, everyone kind of sees 6 as, I don't know, kind of, I don't know.
I guess what Lewis was supposed to be originally, kind of like...
Not really.
Well, no. I mean, in terms of, like, he doesn't talk much, and he's normally with Carol most of the time.
Yeah,
so,
but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's more like they kind of see 6 as the, you know, the autistic kid in the family, or that uncle's. There's something wrong with not wrong with them. That sounds terrible. There's something. Like, there's something.
Good job.
They have a disorder, or they have, you know, something.
Itty bitty.
Or they have something that that makes them distinctly different, either a learning disability or a developmental disability or something like that. That makes them different, but they're still very sweet. So kind of the entirety of the Eve punk kind of sees 6 as being, you know, a sweet kid, kind of, is the way they, like Brad actually makes something for 6. I'm not going to say what it is, but Brad does make something for 6 to help him out, and like 6 is yay. Let me see. 8, Twain hasn't really interacted with. 7, Twain has interacted with some, but not much. They kind of have like sort of a mutual respect for each other, I guess you would say. Both being kind of strong female leads, I guess you could say. I don't know.
9's on his own there.
Twain just it's kind of like pat him on the shoulder. It's okay, buddy. Right? We know you got everyone killed. We know you were trying.
He's like the accidental Brad.
Hemingway hangs around 1 and 2 because he's an old guy and they're old guys, and why the hell not? He's gonna hang around with them. And there are pairings involved with this.
Yeah, Hemingway. I think at this point we can kind of give the
Hemingway kind of strong-armed 1 into a relationship. Yes, you heard that right. First of all, 1 is paired with a dude, which I have not really seen that much of in here, other than pairing him with 2. I've not really seen him pair with OC guys. Like, usually it's OC females.
And that wasn't really intended either.
No, it was not intended at all. I was like, no, we're not putting the old guys in a relationship.
We're not doing this.
I was like, we're not old guys.
Apparently Hemingway was like, no, this one's mine.
basically they hung around each other so much it just kind of happened. Now, not every character that hangs around with another character has this happen. I will tell you that straight up.
Yeah.
Because we've got plenty of characters that hang out with Berkeley and Emery hang out with each other all the time. They don't have a relationship.
No, they're the ones that go around and just kind of have
and
to
make
gossip
fun of
about
everyone's relationships.
Yes.
But yeah, Hemingway and one are in a relationship. It's like a grudging relationship. And Hemingway, yes, is still paired with Tolstoy. So it's kind of these three old people that you always see sitting in rocking chairs kind of deal. And they're kind of you'd have
they're this generation in a couple of years.
You would have to see their reactions to
one another. Yeah,
the way that Tolstoy handles one, and one is terrified of her for some reason. I think it's because she was crazy when you first met her.
And it's also because of what exactly happens to one. We can't give it away, but there's a reason one is a little bit more sporadic when he comes back, and than he is when you see him in the movie, because of certain events that have actually happened after his death and throughout RagNBone. So there's he has really no reason to be terrified of her, but he keeps a distance of sorts.
Hemingway, let's see, for the rest of the crew,
Hemingway
he hangs out with
kind of treats Five a little bit like Brad.
He treats Five kind of like Brad, only he's not as harsh with him because he knows that he's like Dickens. He's really, kind of jumpy. But Hemingway also, he's kind of got a respect for Five because Five follows orders. Brad does not follow orders. Brad has to ask questions all the time. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why can't we do it this way? Why do we have to do it this way? And this is usually when Hemingway has to break out the cane and beat him upside the head. And, so then you've got, let's see, 3 and 4, Hemingway hasn't really interacted with that much, but he just kind of sees them as kids again. 6, again, the whole concept of that one oddball fellow over there, but he's a good guy. It's just kind of strange. Something not right with that boy. 7 hasn't really interacted with that much. 8 kind of sees him as the big fella or the big guy that runs around. Laughs his ass off in 1 when 1 tries to boss 8 around now.
Yes. Oh my god, that was amazing.
9 he kind of sees as the screwball. He's perfect to hang around with Brad and them because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing either. Brad's relationships, Brad is terrified of 1. He thinks 1 is the creepiest thing on the planet. Not just because of the way he looks, but just because of the way he acts. 2, he loves 2. He thinks that 2 is pretty awesome. He doesn't really hang around with 2 that much, but he thinks that 2
is kind of...
He knows 2 through 5, kind of.
Yeah, 2 is where 5 kind of learned most of his stuff, so Brad kind of sees him in a way as a teacher in a way.
Yeah, kind of like Hemingway, only not as scary.
Yeah.
Then 3 and 4, he likes 3 and 4 for their whole, we can project things and we can tell you about things.
They're curious, and he loves when they're curious. There's actually a thing with the compass.
Oh my god,
that was so adorable.
On that rant about the compass to teach them what it does.
Yeah, because
they're trying to figure out what it points at, and he has to explain it. And Brad knows a lot about maps, so he just launches into this little thing about it. And
Itty Bitty, what is the matter?
I don't know what's wrong with Itty Bitty.
She's got food and water. I freaking filled it up this morning.
Unless she's hitting
heat.
I must say, unless she's hitting that time of her life and she's going to be
no, she's gonna be as bitchy as us. There's nothing but girls in this house, save for Boy Rabbit. Anyway.
Then you've got 5, Brad and 5.
Oh. They have a little fling.
Brad and 5 and 9 are all like buddies, and they all hang out a lot. And there is such bromance in the air early on. It's not something that really stays in place, but it does feature later in the story as an actual plot point. So I mean, it's not something that's just kind of tossed in there.
Yeah.
Just to give you sort of a heads up that there are reasons that these things do happen. Besides just, hey, Brad and 9, alright.
Even though we were kind of like that.
We were kind of like that when that first happened, but it actually comes to play later as a major plot point with 5 anyway. Because of other things that happen with 5. Now, let's see, Brad, 5, and then 6, of course, 6. He kind of sees him as like a kid
okay with 6.
And then 7, he doesn't really interact with 7 that much. 8 is kind of scary because he's so huge. So Brad's just kind of like, I'm going to stay away from him unless I need something made. He might be able to help me there. Then you've got 9, and of course, Brad and 9, super romancy, and they get along so well. And the reason why Brad, 9, and 5 get along so well is that they all like to work with their hands, and they're all very, let's build something, let's put something together, let's make something. And they all have that, well, not 5 to a certain degree, but they all have sort of that innate curiosity. They want to know what this does and how this works. And Brad and 9 are probably the worst when it comes to that.
Brad and 9 were the first pairing we ever, before RagNBone was even created. Brad and 9 were kind of the thing that we ran with.
Yeah.
Just as a joke.
As a joke.
Because we really weren't serious about it. But if you've ever, if you want to know how our view of Brad and 9 kind of went, go listen to 9 in the Afternoon from Panic at the Disco, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up.
If you want to know
perfectly.
where it came from, second or third chapter of 3x3, which 3x3 is still up, my old fan fiction that started any of this mess, is still up on my DeviantArt. If you go to chapter either 2 or 3, there's a scene with Brad fixing 9, and that is kind of where all the bromance started.
Yeah.
Was just their interaction worked so well. I was like, oh my god, and I told her, I was like, I could ship these two. I could ship these two so hard.
And then I was like, hey, I'll be a fangirl for this. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was really, it's kind of really lulzy and cute. But
so,
next character, Tolstoy. Tolstoy's interactions
with one.
With one,
she adores one.
She does. She adores one, mainly because the fact that he helps Hemingway in a way. Yeah, one helps somebody. Huh? What? But he helps Hemingway in a way early on in the storyline, and she's just kind of, she's in the background. Tolstoy is generally a very quiet person in the comic, but with the way that she interacts and feels about one, it's like she does love him, and but it's something where I don't think one quite understands this. I don't think he knows how to handle this.
Yeah,
it's like he can handle Hemingway's constant back and forth, and the yelling, and the being retarded with each other, and chasing each other around and being stupid. Yeah. But when it comes to Tolstoy, it's just quiet. I love you. No, can't handle it. Don't know what's going on. I'm gonna kind of pretend that this is not happening.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not that I don't think he doesn't appreciate it.
Oh,
it's just kind of very strange for him.
Oh yeah.
Then you have her interacting with Tolstoy in 2. Tolstoy is like, I guess 2's just kind of like a friend of the family, a good close friend kind of thing, because he's usually hanging around with them too. With 3 and 4, Tolstoy, yet again, grandmotherly figure their kids. There you go. They're usually off studying, though, so it's not really that much of a thing. Tolstoy to 5, think of her as the mother-in-law, I suppose. She's like, she approves very highly of 5 and Dickens.
Yeah, because she's very close to Dickens.
Yeah, she's to think of Tolstoy and Hemingway, and there are family units within family units here, I guess you could say. Tolstoy and Hemingway are kind of like a surrogate mother and father to Dickens, to them, because Tolstoy was Dickens' mentor. And Brad and Dickens have a sort of brother-sister relationship, too, and Brad's, Hemingway's, apprentice type deal. So it's one of these kind of things where it's like she's kind of like, oh, well, I approve of 5 because of the fact that, he's with Dickens, and they just seem to be a good match. For 6, Tolstoy and 6 actually share a very big connection. We're not going to say what just yet, because that would be giving it away.
Oh,
but
yeah,
there are a couple of things in particular that Tolstoy and 6 have in common that we're not going to talk about here that make them, to a certain degree, I think Tolstoy understands 6 more than some of the other ones do, because of some unique things that they both have gone through.
7,
Tolstoy hasn't really dealt with that much. Because, be honest, guys, 7 is outside a lot. Now, that does not mean that she's not going to come into play in the comic more. There actually is some post-editing that I have to do to put 7 in a little bit more, because 7 and 9 have been kind of hard for me to characterize, and that does not mean, like I said, that they're going to be out. I plan on fixing them.
Yeah, it's just because we didn't really think of RagNBone
was going to be a comic at the beginning.
So we didn't even have a title for it until way past Eaton's Crew, way past the Franz Punks. And it just became a decision when we were kind of having a block in that certain particular area, part of the story. And it was like, we were just kind of joking around. You know, this would be kind of cool if we set this up as a comic.
It kind of came about because we were like, this story is really getting epic. We ought to share it with people because I can't remember what point it hit epic proportions for us. We were like...
When you started screaming in parentheses, this is amazing!
Yeah, probably when that
that's pretty much where it happened. And so we were like, oh, well, maybe we can do this.